miners, this is Mel for the PIMP team. I want to thank you for checking out PIMP and looking at this video guide. I hope it helps you and makes it faster and easier to mine with PIMP. Also, thank you all for the support. We are proud to be a pioneer in crypto mining. With that said, I know you're busy. Let's pimp this rig. This is called the Help Me video, and it shows you how to troubleshoot your rig the easy way. For more details, you can see this guide in the forum. This guide has screenshots and all sorts of information to show you the various ways that you can troubleshoot your rig using these handy tools. So, the first thing we always want to do, we are freshly SSH'd into the rig. We want to make sure that we have the latest PIMP software. So you don't have to go into the miners for this one. You can just run the PIMP up and then quit out. So by default, logging is turned off. We try to minimize disk write. And you can see here that I've already turned it on for the purpose of this lesson. So normally you would just turn it on or off that way. So with that said, we're going to go over into the log folder here, and if we do a quick long list here, we'll see a whole bunch of different things going on. And you'll see that we have the agent log as well as the miner log files here. And because we use the log rotation, it simplifies it and turns it into a daily archive. So for this purpose, we're just going to look. We have a miner running right now. So we're going to look at the miner log. When you use this command tail with the F, that means it will follow and show you the latest output. So as the log develops more information, you will see it output to the terminal. So that's a nice way to look at and see what's going on with your miner in another way. So we'll control C out of that. Those logs are there, and of course you know that you have the agent log too. The agent log is in charge of telling you about the agent service as well as the starting and stopping of miners. There's many commands that you can use in Linux to look at these log files. We showed you the tail command. You also, of course, always have your cat, which will concatenate all the way out to the screen. And then you can also use the less command, which is nice if you wanted to say, look at our pimp up log. We can less the pimp up log, and this will allow you to use your arrow keys to go up and down, page up and page down, and so forth. And then you can queue out of that to quit. Next up, we'll go ahead and clear our terminal screen so you can see what we're doing here. And we want to go back to the home directory here with a CD, and we'll do another long list to see. I have some miscellaneous files in here. But for example, if you wanted to share any of the files, contents, or the output of a command for yourself for later, or with a colleague, or with the support team or other pimps, then we have some commands available that you can use to provide this information. The way to show a text file to someone, you simply use the show me command. So for example, if you wanted to show someone your startup file, you could just do show me startup.sh, and what it'll do is it will gather that file into a online service like a paste bin. In this case, it uses the sponge, and you can go ahead and share that link with other people, and it will give you that file just like you would see on the rig. So that is the show me command. Now that works for files, but if you wanted to output a command output, you couldn't use that. So if we wanted to show someone this ls command, we could then use the pipe character, which is right there, and then we could use send it to paste bin in it. And what that will do is the same thing as the show me did, only it will give you the command output. And then we can go ahead and take a look at that. And that should give us our listing command. And there it is. So those are the cloud pasting commands. Now for the biggest cloud pasting command of all, we're going to run something that you should be using a lot to troubleshoot your rig. This help me will eventually give you the URL that you can post into any browser or share it with support, and it will give you all the information you need to troubleshoot your rig. Alright, so let's take a deep dive into this application and see what kind of information it provides. So the very first thing it shows you is your farm URL. So this is something that allows you to view your farm actually being mined to, and here's our rig, and we can see that it's actually mining Zcash on 4 GPUs. Everything looks good here. In this case, you wouldn't be troubleshooting this rig because it's running. But moving on, you have your hardware information, CPU, RAM, GPUs in the rig. This is good to see what the system detects. Your software version, both the image release as well as the dynamic PIMP software updates. Moving down, the PIMP configuration. This shows you the setup that the user has done. So you can see the status of the configuration files, the miners themselves, the GPU variables, and then you move down into your startup file. So you can see what your startup file does. In this case, we have updated to sleep 20 for the GPU tool, and I'm running a custom configuration there, and then sleep 25 for the miner farm start. So that's correct. That's something that you can troubleshoot there. Moving down, we have our cron tab file that launches the startup, but if you have scheduling items, you can put them into there. Want to make sure that all of your services are running. So we know that the miners farm service, the VNC, and the display manager are all running. So this machine should be running very well. And you'll notice that a lot of the time you might just go straight to the GPU info section. This is a lot of useful, detailed information about your GPUs. Most pimps come right here to get this information. After the GPU information, moving right down here, you will come down to the hardware information. Now, some people wonder why we show certain things. I wanted to show you a good example of why we show the disk smart data. Believe it or not, disk corruption can lead to a bad day with a miner. In this case, this individual shared this helpme with support, and we saw right away that there were device errors to the solid state disk. He replaced that disk, and all of his very wide-ranging odd problems went away. After that, moving on down to the log files, we show the last 50 lines of each. That's usually the most relevant, as well as the pimp up log, which you can see at a glance that everything has been updated. And then you can look at your kernel ring messages. Any hardware changes are logged here to the dmessage command. For example, when you add in a USB disk, then you will see that information posted to the dmessage log. So, quite often we can pick out a problem that a pimp is having with a quick look at the help me. We always ask for it. We can see if you have the latest updates, if you're using the appropriate profile for your hardware, what hardware you have, how the system and the drivers respond to your hardware, and then other errors that pop up in the logs. So in this video, we covered how to get help on a pimp rig, as well as lots of tools to help you troubleshoot your rig, such as logging, cloud pasting, and the Help Me tool. These tools, combined with the power of the miners on the forum and the Discord, should allow everyone to more easily compare notes, share configurations, fix problems, and ultimately we can all make more profit by having the rigs running more stable and with less downtime. So, thank you again for watching a pimp video. I hope it helps make pimp more profitable for you. It is the fastest and easiest way to mine crypto. And please comment below on what other videos you would like to see. We're happy to produce anything that helps us all benefit. Thanks again for watching. Again, melt for the pimp team.